I went on vacation instead of my brother's wedding. My brother Marcus was getting married to his high school girlfriend on the same weekend I'd already booked a solo camping trip to Yellowstone. I'd planned this trip for 8 months, saved up vacation days, reserved campsite permits that were impossible to get. It was going to be my first real break after working 60-hour weeks all year at my soul-crushing accounting job. Aroused. When Marcus announced his wedding date, it was the exact same weekend as my trip. My mom immediately started pressuring me to cancel everything. Family comes first, she kept saying. You can go camping anytime. This is once in a lifetime. But here's what nobody in my family knew. This wasn't just some random vacation I could reschedule. My dad had promised to take me to Yellowstone every summer when I was a kid, but he always found excuses. Work was too busy, money was tight, maybe next year, kiddo. He died in a car accident when I was 16, and I never got that father-son trip he'd talked about for years. For 3 years after Mom gave me some of his ashes, I'd been planning to scatter them at this specific lake where he always said he wanted to go fishing. It was deeply personal, something I'd been working up courage to do. The camping trip was really a pilgrimage to fulfill a promise I made at his funeral that I'd take him there someday. I tried explaining this to my family, but they didn't understand the significance. Marcus said I was being overly dramatic and that Dad would obviously want me at his wedding instead. My mom accused me of using Dad's memory to avoid family responsibilities. My sister said I was making excuses because I didn't want to spend money on wedding gifts and hotel rooms. The pressure got so intense over the following weeks that I stopped mentioning the trip entirely. Every family dinner became an intervention about my priorities and how disappointed everyone was. I quietly kept my reservation and didn't bring it up again, figuring I'd deal with the inevitable fallout when I returned. Wedding day arrives, and I'm 4 hours into the mountains when my phone starts going absolutely crazy. Marcus calling every 10 minutes, Mom sending paragraph-long guilt trip texts, aunts leaving increasingly frantic voicemails asking where I am and whether something terrible happened. I turned my phone completely off and kept driving toward the campsite. At the lake, I set up camp in the exact spot Dad had circled on an old topographic map I found in his desk drawer. I sat there for hours talking to him like he was right next to me on that fallen log. I told him about my recent promotion, how much I missed his terrible dad jokes, how hard growing up without his guidance was during those crucial teenage years. Then I scattered his ashes in the crystal clear water and watched the most incredible sunset he never got to see. It felt like he was finally getting the peaceful fishing trip he'd dreamed about for years but never had time to take because of work obligations. It was the most spiritually meaningful moment of my entire adult life. When I got back to civilization 2 days later, my phone had 47 missed calls and dozens of angry messages. My family was absolutely furious. Marcus said I ruined his wedding photos because the family looked incomplete in all the formal shots. My mom cried about how embarrassed she was explaining my mysterious absence to confused relatives who kept asking where I was. My sister called me selfish for prioritizing a camping obsession over celebrating Marcus and his new wife during their special moment. But then my Uncle Paul, Dad's younger brother, called separately a few days later. He knew about my real plan because I'd mentioned the significance months earlier when we were talking about Dad's death anniversary. He said he was genuinely proud of me for finally taking that meaningful trip with Dad, even though it meant missing the wedding. Then he told me something that absolutely floored me. Dad had actually been secretly planning to take me to that exact lake the summer he died. Uncle Paul found a handwritten itinerary and campsite reservation confirmation in Dad's wallet after the accident. Dad had been saving money for months, researching the best fishing spots, wanting it to be a surprise father-son adventure. We never got that trip together, but somehow I ended up exactly where he wanted us to go. My family eventually forgave me for missing the wedding, but they still don't really understand why I chose camping over Marcus's celebration. They think I was being antisocial during an important family milestone. What they don't realize is I didn't choose a vacation over a wedding. I chose keeping a 20-year-old promise to my dead father over keeping everyone else comfortable and happy. And knowing what I know now about Dad's secret plans, I'd make that exact same choice again every single time.